Hello, dear viewer. The United Nations Office of Absolute Bangers has tasked me with ranking all of the world's national anthems. There are a lot of countries in the world, so I would like to begin this series with ranking all the national anthems of Asian nations. In this video series, I will be talking about the history and heater level of every national anthem in Asia, using an advanced algorithm I created called This Is My Opinion. So, with that being said, let's rank some national anthems. Afghanistan, Milli Surud. This anthem came to be after 2001 upon the end of the first time the Taliban ruled Afghanistan. This is sung in the Pashto language, with the meaning being national anthem? Really? That's all they came up with? Okay, moving on. There is a competing anthem with this bad boy from the new Taliban government, but since Milli Surud was used in the 2022 CAFA Under-19 Futsal Championship instead of the naughty one, this is the anthem of Afghanistan that I recognize. This anthem mostly just features mentioning various ethnic groups in Afghanistan, which to be honest is just the equivalence of forgetting to do the homework and then doing it really quickly in the morning before school. This anthem is not doing much for me, and can soundly go in the basically a Taylor Swift song category. Armenia, Mer Harenik. First off, I love that this anthem features the lines, "Death is the same everywhere," and "Blessed is the one that dies for the freedom of his nation." That is about all I love. Titled Our Fatherland in English, the melody is boring and cliché, but the history is interesting. The lyrics of this anthem come from an 1861 poem called The Song of an Italian Girl, which if you don't think about it, has a lot to do with Armenia. And the melody was composed in the early 1900s, where this song was the anthem of the First Republic of Armenia. The First Republic of Armenia existed between 1918 and 1920, before Armenia was invaded by, and became a part of, the Soviet Union. Armenia, Georgia, and Azerbaijan were all the same republic, called Transcaucasian Socialist Federative Soviet Republic, during Soviet times. And as such, singing of the song Mer Harenik was outlawed, and it became a symbol of protest and nationalism for the Armenian people. In 1991, the anthem was adopted again by the newly sovereign nation of Armenia, with modified lyrics. Factoring in the boring melody with the interesting history, I can soundly rank the national anthem of Armenia as Isai. Azerbaijan, Azerbaijan Marsi. This song means in English, March of Azerbaijan, which is very uncreative. The melody sounds like the theme song for some antagonistic empire in a film, and this song is played right as the hero is seemingly about to be defeated. I am sure Armenians would agree with my assessment. In 1919, Azerbaijan's new government requested your mixtapes for a national anthem with a prize of 15,000 rubles going to the winner of the contest. This is how the anthem came to be, as my boy, Uzeyir Hajibeyev, won the contest. In fact, my boy, Uzeyir Hajibeyev, is recognized on every September 18th for one of my all-time favorite holidays after Arbor Day and Serbian Independence Day, Uzeyir Music Day, which has been going on since 1995. This anthem was adopted as the official Azerbaijani TM anthem in 1992 after the fall of the Soviet Union. Accompanying the fall of the Soviet Union and reinstating this anthem, there was a brave decision to change playing the anthem in G minor as opposed to the original A minor. To this day, the anthem is played in G minor. With all things considered, this would be going in the basically a Taylor Swift song category, but I have been celebrating Uzayir, music day for most of my life, and as such, the Azerbaijani anthem can soundly go in the Isai category. Bahrain. Bahrain no na. In English, this means Our Bahrain. Despite a title like that, this one has nothing to do with the Soviet Union. Featuring lyrics such as, quote, "Its constitution is high in the place and the position," end quote, this feels like a poorly translated anime line. Originally, this was adopted in 1971 when Bahrain gained independence from the UK. Yeah, that really happened in 1971. Isn't that wild? They got a Hong Kong situation going on there, I think. Also, did you know that Bahrain is an archipelago and 33 of the islands are man-made? Isn't that interesting? But anyways, the melody to this song can be dated to at least the 1940s, but the composer is actually a mystery. A police band led by a police colonel named Mohammed Sadiq Ayash performed the initial rendition of this, and my boy, Mohammed Sadiq Ayash, also composed the lyrics, which are, to be honest, mid at best. This is why the national anthem of Bahrain can be ranked in the basically a Taylor Swift song category. Bangladesh. Amar Sonar Bangla. Amar Sonar Bangla, ami tomay bhalobashi, chirodin tomar akash, chirodin tomar akash. First off, Jaya Bangla. Second off, in English, this means my golden Bengal. This style of music, so to speak, is called Baul, which uses sort of tantric chanting and traditional instruments of the Indian subcontinent. It was adopted from a different Baul, initially written in 1905 as a poem composed by my boy, Rabindranath Tagore, who also wound up creating what would become the Indian national anthem. Tagore was, by the way, the first non-European to win the Nobel Prize in Literature. This music style is referred to as a Swaralipi in Bengali, and the song actually first appeared in a music journal of all things. Tagore performed Amar Sonar Bangla, and his niece's daughter wrote down the music, which was commonplace of how Tagore's songs were recorded before the creation of the studio. Only the first 10 lines of the initial poem are used as the Bengali anthem to this day. With such unique music, a rich history, and some dank lyrics, I can soundly put this in the
"Damn, son, where'd you find this?"
category. Bhutan. Druksenden. Did you know that Bhutan is a constitutional monarchy? The king of Bhutan is officially known as the Druk Gyalpo, which can be translated as Dragon King. Much of the anthem makes reference to the Dragon King and his Dragon Kingdom, and possibly even the Dragon of Dojima and Dragon Tales. In fact, Druksenden means the Thunder Dragon Kingdom, which is a legally speaking badass title. This is where things can get a bit sensitive, as there are actually Bhutanese refugees stemming from conflict in the 1990s as a result of protesters demanding more democracy, which yo boy is definitely not getting into here. But shouting out the monarchy for most of the anthem can be a bit cringe. Moving on. The lyrics to this bad boy are actually written in the Bhutanese constitution. Originally composed in 1953, a religious leader in Bhutan composed the jam, but there is some debate as to who really came up with the OG song. This anthem has dance moves to it. Yeah, I'm not joking. There's actual dance moves to this anthem. And actually, this anthem has its roots in a folk song. Most Bhutanese are not even sure of the dance moves, as the anthem is usually sung. This anthem came to be in 1953, when the king of Bhutan at the time ordered the composition of a national anthem and drew inspiration from the Indian and British national anthems. Cringe. Given the history and uniqueness of this anthem, Druk can be placed in the
Damn, son, where'd you find this?
category. Brunei. Ala Peli Harakan Sultan. So let's get this out of the way. Brunei has a sultan, which is not based. But, not gonna lie, their anthem does go kinda hard. The meaning of the anthem in English is God Bless the Sultan, which is, to be honest, kind of cringe. The anthem is sung in the Malay language, which makes sense given that they speak Malay in Brunei. Originally, this was composed in 1947, and it became the national anthem of the British Protectorate of Brunei in 1951. This song was officially adopted on and sung as the national anthem of the independent state of Brunei on January 1st, 1984, exactly at midnight. Isn't that cute? The lyrics feature asking God to protect the Sultan and help him rule the land. Being against monarchy at all costs, this makes me want to go all Bolshevik revolution on Brunei. But the calming melody soothes my soul. So, this anthem can soundly go in the "It's a banger" tier. Cambodia. Nokorich. Again with the king stuff, which I want to go on record I am not a fan of. This melody, however, I'm a huge fan of. When I hear this anthem, I would 100% die for whatever dumbass cause the king of Cambodia would like me to do. This anthem is based on a folk song that was originally composed by a Cambodian monk named Chuan Nath. Between the years of 1938 and 1939, then Prince and later King of Cambodia, Norodom Suramarti, created the music. I guess this anthem is such a heater that the composer needed 2 whole years in the oven to cook. The lyrics were not even finished until 1941, which is when my boy, Chuan Nath, wrote them. In 1947, Nokorich became the official anthem for Cambodia. However, in 1970, Pol Pot came and did some terrible things, which involved killing literally 1/5 of Cambodia's population. The Khmer Rouge replaced the anthem with something called Glorious 17th of April in 1976. This remained as the anthem of Cambodia until 1993, when Nokorich was restored as the official anthem. As a poem, there are 3 verses, each with 5 lines, but the first verse is the one usually sung as the anthem. With all things considered, this will also go in the
Damn, son, where'd you find this?
tier. China. Yi Yong Jun Jin Jing Kui. March of the Volunteers. Yes, the CCP is evil, but my God, does China's anthem go absolutely hard in the paint. This has been the official anthem of China since 1978, and is written in everyday Chinese, as opposed to classical Chinese, which was featured in previous anthems of the country. In the 1930s, Mao Zedong and Chiang Kai-shek were fighting to control the destiny of China, but they put their beef on hold to fight off invading Japanese forces. A communist playwright named Tian Han in 1934 composed this tune to the melody of a song composed by Tie Er and a Russian named Eren Avshalamov. This song was used exclusively for a propaganda film called Children of Troubled Times in 1935, which eventually led to it becoming a famous military song. This song was used as a patriotic tune during World War II, and was used as an anthem for the 200th Division of the National Revolutionary Army, who did most of their fighting in Burma. During the Cultural Revolution, many people were purged, including my boy Tian Han, who was placed in and died in prison. Thus, this song was unofficially replaced by The East is Red as the anthem of China, but was later used again without the lyrics. In 1978, altered lyrics were used until the original version was used again in 1982, as it is to this day. Here's a fun fact about this anthem. It was sung by Paul Robeson, who is a legend in his own right, to raise money for China during World War II, of which the US was actually an ally. Here he is spitting bars now.
起来，不愿做奴隶的人们，把我们的血肉组成我们新的长城。中华民族到了最危险的时候，每个人被迫着发出最好的号声。起来，起来，起来！ 我们万众一心，冒着敌船的炮火前进，冒着敌船的炮火前进，前进，前进，进。
With a rich history and absolute heater of a song, I can soundly put March of the Volunteers in the certified hood classic tier. Georgia. Tavi Supleba. This means liberty in English. The first thing you probably notice about this anthem is that it is extremely boring. With a chorus of, "So praise be to liberty, liberty be praise," that is just plagiarizing something Americans would say. And Georgians already plagiarized the name of their country after a US state. That's 2 acts of plagiarism. Let's get into the history of this. This was adopted as Georgia's national anthem in May of 2004. Which also included introducing a new national flag and coat of arms. What fun! This came about after the Rose Revolution, which was a non-violent revolution resulting in a change of power. The melody comes from a Georgian opera, which is why it is so boring, as opera is objectively terrible. A Georgian poet created the lyrics in 2004, and this anthem was officially adopted by a bill in Georgian parliament. The Rose Revolution is also incredibly interesting, and I encourage you all to check out more details on that, but the anthem itself is boring. So, all things considered, this anthem goes in the "Yo, this sucks" tier. If you disagree with my list, please let me know, and I will commit seppuku accordingly. Thank you all, and I will see you all in part 2 inshallah. Have a blessed day.